Financial disclaimer. The information provided in this stream is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered as professional financial or investment advice. We are not licensed financial advisors, and the content presented here is based on our personal opinions and experiences. Investing in stocks and other financial instruments involves risk, including the potential loss of capital. Any investment decisions you make are solely your own responsibility, and you should conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any investment choices. The content we share on this stream may not be accurate, complete, or up to date. Market conditions and financial regulations can change rapidly, and we cannot guarantee the accuracy or reliability of the information presented. We do not endorse or promote any specific stocks, companies, or investment strategies. Any actions you take based on the content of this stream are at your own risk, and we will not be held liable for any losses or damages that may occur as a result. Always remember that past performance is not indicative of future results, and no investment is guaranteed to be profitable. Make informed decisions and consider your risk tolerance before investing any funds. By accessing and using this stream, you acknowledge and agree that we are not responsible for any investment decisions you make as a result of the content presented. You are encouraged to seek advice from qualified financial professionals for personalized guidance. Please invest responsibly, and only with money you can afford to lose.
Hey man, just found the next guaranteed multi-bagger.
Hey man, you found another one? What is it this time?
Come check this out.
Hey everybody, welcome to Laughing Stock. Today is just me here. Dane couldn't make it today. But I am, so it's going to be a little bit of a different stream, I think. I was planning, instead of doing like a lot of things in terms of going through names and stuff, I will just walk you through my screening process, because I haven't done that since Friday. I sometimes you know, I get a little bit lazy on Fridays and I decide to do the screening in the weekend. So I haven't done that now. So I was thinking when Dane couldn't make the stream today that I could just do a solo stream where I go through the screening process and how I do it. We got some questions on some for some screening, like how how we tend to find the tickers that we are watching. So I thought that it could be you know, good to go through on a stream. It's nothing fancy. It's all 100% based on what Kulamagi does. And then I've sorted the lists and stuff like that. I've arranged the lists in the way I want it. So that's, I guess, it's unique to me. But the actual screening process is nothing fancy. But I will just go through it. It does take a while because for some reason I understand why TradingView have a cap on each watch list for 1,000 tickers. So I have a universe of 6,000 tickers. So I have 6 lists of 1,000 tickers each. So I have to screen on those 6 lists every time. So because of that, it takes a little bit of time for me because the limitation of TradingView. So for me, it usually takes around, I don't know, 40 minutes maybe to do the whole thing. So I thought that I will spend the stream today doing that. But first, the market is still choppy. It's not very exciting these days. It's very hard to stick in names to get a position in and not getting stopped out. But so far I'm only in one name right now, and this is IBRX. I got a little bit lucky on this one because I took it on this day here at 6. I think I took it here 666. I thought that was a good number to jump in on it. I did put it on my list because I saw this move up, right? I even tried to do a EP in here somewhere, and it stopped me out. And then later in the day, of course, it continued to go, and as you can see, it just kept going numerous days in a row here. So that showed tremendous strength. And also another thing is, like, they were rolling out news like every day, updates on news and their process and stuff like that. And they are taking a big market share in Saudi Arabia, and now they have been approved to roll out some of their studies and treatment cases in Europe as well. So that's this next move is because of the Europe news and also our earnings. And as you can see in my table right here, they are actually delivering a bit on the earnings, but this showed up in one of my screens, and I kept it on a list, and it started to move sideways, and it came back into the moving averages. And then on this day, it's not a classic setup that I usually trade, but it's because it did this and I had watched it for a while. I thought just get a position in, see what happens, put a tight stop loss on, and it never was close to trigger my stop loss. So it just went up that same day. I sold half of the position the same day because in the environment we are in right now, it's the safest thing, I think, is to just take something off the same day. So I did that around here, I think 8:21, I think it was. And then I raised the stop to a break even. So that was already on the first day a very fantastic trade for me. And I kept it since. It went all the way up. It was almost a double, I think. We go from here 87% almost around there. Up here, of course, it got really extended, and maybe in hindsight should have sold another 50% of the remaining position up here, but I just decided to stick with my rules to raise my stop and trail it on the 10-day moving average. It did hit it on Friday, but as you can see, it ended the day up. So I don't know. I'm just gonna. I hope it will move sideways here and maybe can get another leg, because it kind of did the same thing this time as it did back here. It just rolled out positive news after positive news, and of course when it goes up here, from down here to here, it's like 540%. So you can see bigger moves than that, but that's a huge move. So it's not gonna end. It's not gonna continue to go up forever. But I'm happy with the position and the gain I already have. So I'm now that I've decided to trade it with 10-day, I'm just gonna stick with it. And let's see. Now, of course, there's a lot of things going on in the world right now. So on Monday, everything can tank for all I know. But I'm gonna just if it does that, and it gaps, below the stop, I'll just sell immediately and still probably be profitable. I think. I don't think it will go down, 30% at the start. But who knows? Who knows? Can happen, of course. I hope it won't. Yeah, a lot of things going on in the world right now, and Monday is going to be interesting to watch. Let's see. It's impossible to comment anything. I just saw crypto, has been open in the weekend. It did have a drop yesterday, but came back. If that's an indicator of how the market will react on Monday, I don't know. Just something I saw. But yeah, right now, just in one position, IBRX, and I think that's good. I decided after January to trade less in February if the market environment continued, which is kind of have done. So I've been sticking to that rule, and I've been trading way less. Maybe not way less, but I think I traded 45 names in January, and in February I think I ended on 25 names. Both months have been green for me. I'm not up a tremendous amount. I'm up a little bit because it has been choppy in my portfolio as well. At the ugliest, I was down almost 5%. And then this trade worked. It pulled me up again to, right now I'm 1% up or something like that for the year. Which I'll take. But this is not the environment that I'm gonna outperform in, I think, like crazy, because the breakouts, they are just so hard to trade in this environment. So I'm just gonna stick to my plan and wait till I see a more profitable market environment, or where you have the odds in your favor. Because if you look up the stats for breakouts to work in like sideways markets or bearish markets versus bullish markets, it's just like um, that's a reason alone almost to maybe not trade. Just a simple indicator like this, where the black background means that you should probably, like, I found this in one of Kulamagi's streams, and he said, like, just use this if you are a beginner, and just don't trade when it's black in the background. Just don't trade, because the moving averages are sloping down here. You see, that's what makes the colors. And when they are up in the purple background, this is where you should trade at the breakouts. And I think, for me now, where I'm still learning a lot, that's just some a easy rule that I should try to follow. So that's kind of my plan. And I have to say though, if you do look at the market, like the Nasdaq. Hold on, let me. It kind of, you should probably not draw lines on the indexes, right? But we do it anyway. We don't care about it here, right? So if you draw something like this, you can argue, yeah, maybe it's like, but still, we did that. We did that back here. Hold on, let me go to another one. If you go to the weekly and you do like a replay into here, here looks good. Here looks good, but at the same time, in hindsight, when you can look at this, obviously this is a bit weird, but it did kind of try to break out here, right? And then it has turned, and and gone downwards. So when you draw the lines on charts and you put them on your lists, and you get the same pattern, and they break up and they fall down, I delete them from my list sometimes, like my daily watch list. And that happens, and I'm not sure where this is going now. It's still sideways, but I mean, if you still think it's in a channel, it did kind of try to break out here, and it didn't work. And then you see all the red volume as well. It's a bit worrying to me in terms of where we're gonna end. I think still it will be healthy with a good correction. But at the same time, in the last few days, from here, it's been looking a little bit better. And maybe I saw even some people said they have found some traction and started to use margin and whatnot. I'm not doing that. But if you time these periods right, it can be profitable, but that's not easy at all. And still, when the general move is sideways, if you are in some names in these up periods, you're still going to see a lot of failed breakouts, I think. So yeah, maybe go down on the position size a bit, slow down the trades, maybe just one per day or something like that. That's what I'm trying to stick to right now. So yeah, that's kind of the general market, I think. And now let's see what with everything going on. Let's see on Monday how it will look like. So that's why I'm only in one name, IBRX. This one has worked, a bit lucky. I actually held through earnings on this because I had already trimmed the position, and I paid attention and thought that they, in terms of the news they have rolled out, that it would be a general positive earnings environment. A bit of a gamble. Usually I don't do that, so I've been very lucky on this in many ways. But yeah, sometimes I guess you can be a bit lucky too, right? Okay, so let's just start the screening process then. I think here is my daily watch list. We're going to clean this up and then start to screen, I think. And it will take a while, but just I will try to talk through it all. I have the premium, I think, the premium subscription on TradingView, which allows you to screen through your indicators. So I have made a bunch of custom indicators that they are hidden here, and I don't use them. The only purpose to have them on is to be able to screen through them. So then you can use. I think this is pretty cool actually in TradingView. You can use their Pine screener. And then you just here is the list I talked about, my universe. They are roughly 1,000 tickers in each. So I have to do like a screen on each of them for every indicator. I have like 1 month gainers, I have 3 month, 6 month, and then I'm usually doing like a 5-day. And then I just go through all the names and I put the ones that I think look strong into my watch list, and then I'm using that watch list to create my daily watch list. So that's usually the process, and I'm just picking the 10%, like the top 10% from each scan into the list that I'm gonna follow. It's all based on Kulamagi. That's what he does as well. He has like a filter in his TC2000. You can put like a filter that cuts out all the rest after the top 10% movers. So here you just, here's the list, here's the indicator. So if you mark your indicators as a favorite in TradingView, you have to do that to be able to screen through them. So these are the favorite indicators. So I'm just using like the 1 month gainer, which is this one, I guess. And by the way, I managed to create those indicators just purely through Chat GPT, and I explained to them or to the program what I wanted to do, and that it was based off Kulamagi and his streams, and I worked a little bit back and forth, to get it into something that I think looks good. So I've just used ChatGPT for that. So this is the one. Then I have to put like a 0 here, and then I hit scan, and then it will scan this list and give me like the results. I have to rank them through like this to find the top performers, and then Qualcomm I never included because it's not there anymore. But then you see it's like 108 results. So then I round it up to 11. So the top 11 picks from here is what I'm going to put in my list that I'm going to go through here. So then I just count like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then I just put them on the screen list. And then I have to do it on the next one as well. This is the boring part with TradingView. I wish I could do it all in one go, it would be very time efficient, but that's not how it is right now. So 23 from this one. This is biotech. Biotech is included in that list, so it's always a little bit more than the rest. But doing these screens daily, you also get a feel of how good the market in general is performing. So I kind of like it. And I kind of wish TradingView would put numbers here as a list, so I could just, instead of count all the time, I could just jump to the right number. That's a bit annoying. Just I love TradingView for a lot of things, but there's so many things as a swing trader that I think to me it seems a bit obvious, like easy changes, but maybe it's not so easy. Maybe I just don't know how to do it, and that you can actually do it. So if anyone knows how to do it, please inform me. But I don't really mind. Like I wish I could do like just like 3 scans and be finished with it, but here we are. Then we have the list ready for the 1 month gainers. And then I just sent them to this list that I call screen in my dashboard here. And then I just start to go through. Sorry. I just start to go through. Holy shit. Sorry. Ah. Okay, so I some of these I have on my screening process is then to send these into my list here where I have everything in, you know, sorted in the right groups. So some of these I know from before. You see NCI, I know I have it already in the list. So I'm just going to quickly go through it. And if you see me just, this one looks strong right now, right? But since I know that I have it, I'm just going to pass on it. PSNY, mod I know. And this is the thing though, a lot of these I know that I have from before. So you know, when you do this every day, you're not going to add so many new tickers, but you're going to add a few. And those few are ones that builds, you know, if you do it daily, it builds out the list, and you get like your finger on the pulse on what's moving and all that stuff. So here I see another aerospace defense, which has been hot, good earnings, gapping up here. So this, maybe it's not, of course it's not attractive right now to my style just here. I see it's a big company, and I think I've had it on the list before but kicked it out, or maybe not actually. It doesn't look so good here. But this one now, if you can continue to climb over the 200-day moving average and then set up, like this shows a bit strength if it can do something like that, you know. If it can continue to go up here and maybe move sideways and then keep going, that's something I want to monitor and be on if it happens. So this is one I'm just going to put on the list, you know. And I'm trying also to these are manually added, like the group names. So every time I don't have one, I have to go through the lists and find the groups and then manually put them there. But eventually I will have a name on all the tickers. So doing this screening process will also allow me to like get a feel of which groups are strong. How big of a move has this been? Just like 20%. I think I'm gonna leave. I think I'm gonna leave this. This one I have, CPS I have. This one I should add. Oh no, sorry. Look at the market cap. I sometimes I get tricked. It's just like 12 million. Same with this one. These are too small. Yeah, too small. This one I have. What a move Light have done, right? Now you see the ant showing up too. And I tried to take it here. That's all 80% almost from here. But I think I was in it for days and then I got stopped out. I can't remember. Earnings coming up on this one, but strong move though. Bit up and down. Let's just add it. Look at the move this one had after a negative earning, so probably like some good guidance or something. Maybe some news on some drug. Yeah, it's already IBRX. Yeah, a strong mover. Rocket Pharmaceuticals. Some of these names are crazy, but also some of these moves are crazy, right? Pretty straight up here. Let's add it. Some of these will have the tiniest market cap. Did you see this move? They on the after the earnings day, this one fell like all the way down here, and it's on the same day, and then it's just been going. So very strong move. I guess the market needed to digest the news a bit, or some big heavy player is saving it from, you know, going down here and just buying it up. But great volume. You see that I marked it up ahead of earnings, and then, you know, I saw the move down, and later on that same day just reversed. It gets a bit hard sometimes to, you know, to remember everything that you have put on the list. I wish there was a way to have like a little bit a small list or something, like which list this ticker is included in my system. But it's impossible because the scripts, they can't read like the watch lists information. So a lot of the oil things. This one I think I have. No, I don't. Put it on then. Mbot. Remember Mbot? Usually, like I spend most of the time on the screening on the 1 month screen, because I get a lot of the same tickers naturally comes into the 3 month and the 6 month, because they have performed good in the last month, you know. So but you get some new tickers every now and then, but it's the placement that is most important. Like you get the same names, but maybe not the same one included in top 10%. So it's the placement that is the biggest difference in terms of those different screens that I have. And, you know, none of these are setting up or anything like that. It's just the strength, you know, that you are after. And then hopefully someone can start to move sideways, a little bit like XPO here, and you can just monitor it and jump on it when it comes. I think no, okay. Utility, they're a bit boring, but you know what's not boring? 35% gain. That's not so boring. Yeah, so that was the 1 month. Sometimes I then go to the ones I have put into the main list here, all of these ones, and I start to, the ones I don't have a name on, I start to do it straight away. But I think I will just go through all of them now, and then do that later for all of them, which is that's the most boring part. But when I have that system ready and I've labeled all of them, it will be beneficial for me. So it's just something I have to go and work through. So let's do the 3 months scan then. Same process. Probably going to be a bit quicker when I have first created the list, because of the it's going to be a lot of the same names. I saw PL was in that result. PL has been looking good in terms of what I see. I actually took it and I was up on it, sold half the position and then raised the stop to break even. But I did get stopped out on Friday, so it didn't look good on Friday again. But the PL was very interesting to me earlier, I think. And if you think this is a bit boring, I completely understand it is boring. But for someone who likes this, it's this is where hopefully you can have a nice list when the market starts to break out, and you can be on things. That was one of my big critiques of myself from last year. I missed too many names, and I didn't do this then. So that's something I have worked on to try to stay on top of things. I'm sure I'm still going to miss a lot of names though, but it's all a process, right? Soon ready here. I see FTAI is back on top here. It's on my list and I'm monitoring it. It has been looking good for quite some time, but I haven't been able to take it. There we go. 3 months ready. You see the same names. Here's PL. It did come back. This is where I got stopped out on the break-even trade. Well, I did trim it, so it wasn't break-even in total, but for my stop, it did come back. I think this still looks good, and now it's really climbing, and the moving average has started to go the right way, and yeah, I'm still interested. This is a hot space as well. The group is performing. Everything in that space has gone down a bit lately, but these have all shown like gigantic moves, previous. So very interesting to see, and PL is one that I kind of like here. I've also liked ISSC, but when the market is open, the spread on this one is a bit high. Like, it's so easy to get stopped out. Of course, the opposite side of that is if it starts to move up on you will get tremendous gains. But it's been a rough time to try to get into this one, and I don't like it when the spread is like, if a purchase hit and it goes down 2%, which can trigger the stop already, I'm just going through these quick because I know the names in my head. SNDK. What are you thinking of this one? This is a bit crazy, this stock, I think. Tremendous move. since it broke out from, was it WDC, I think? And it just keeps going. Absolutely monster move, and you know, show a lot of strength. And now it's not so extended like usually. It will be look how extended it is on the weekly. Like my limit here is if it reaches 30 times. Now it's like 42. So on the weekly, this is still an extended move, but on the daily, it starts to come down a bit. I'm a little bit careful. I think I need. You see also in the base here how if you look at the volume bars, how it has changed character a bit. You know, much more red here, in terms of what it has been moving up, all the way up to after the last earnings. And also that's another thing. On the earnings day, it got up and then got beaten down pretty quickly. And then since then, it had been moving sideways. So it's a bit hard to interpret the move. I think for me to jump in on this, I think I need a clear sign that it's gonna move higher. You know, leaders and big strong stocks like this, they do get extended. So sometimes the extension rules, I can bend them a little bit when you see like the strong names. And this definitely qualify for something like that. Bit when you see like the strong names. But also at the same time, there are signs now that maybe the move is gonna need a correction or that it will slow down. But it's just like tight and beautiful. Or look at the moving averages, all this direction, which is a 500% move, 560% move. And then gives you a pretty good looking base, right? I drew my lines before this day, which is why I have not, you know, done something like this, because you could have done something like this as well and tried this day here, which is a clear breakout, and then you would still be up. What is it? To today's level, 140%. If you would of course have sold before that, but just pretty strong performance, right? Sorry if this is just going a bit quick through things, but most of these names, I recognize them from before. They are already put on the lists. Look at this one. Look at this chart. It's like, it's just like a straight line. Oil and gas name. Bor. Look at this. Here I did take Bor. I talked about it on stream. Got stopped out. Annoying. Name of the game as swing trader, I think. Rig looks pretty decent. Bit extended, I see. Rig is already on the list. This one is a stock. Oxy. Gives you a lot of setups, and all of them are not clean. But if you can catch some of these moves, this has just been performing so well, and it moves big. Look, the ADR is 10.62. I'm using the ADR 20 day. Silver Corp. Here's FTAI. I didn't like this day here, and also was just ahead of earnings, so I was never going to take it. And it's a bit like, same here, it dropped dropped down on earnings and then finished up, which is strong indication, right? But then at the next one, it goes up and finished down a little bit. So far since the earnings, it's pretty sideways. And when it was building a base, if you raise like this bar, it looks much better, right? Like you wanted to climb up here and then get a strong breakout, but you didn't get that. And when you get like a move like this, which is like already 5% to just break your line, and maybe maybe you're not prepared enough, so you don't sit there and watch, and then it quickly climbs to above 5%, and then at the same time the ADR is right now is 5.58, so it has a ADR move already on the day that it breaks out. On those tickers, I it's hard for me to go into them, and then of course before the earnings I wouldn't do it. But what I hope for FTAI now, because I was in here, that was a really good performer for me in January. So I hope maybe now it can move sideways a little bit and build a new base, and we can try again, because the business is good, I think, and a very promising space. I saw some of the solo names were getting hammered. The solo names also just tricky to get into them, I think. All right, we're doing the 6 month next 6 months gainers. Usually on that list, I rarely find like a new ticker, but I want to include them just to get an idea of. Once again, is the position that they are positioned in here. It tells you something. Wait. And I did send an email to TradingView asking them if they ever considered to, raise the limit for how many ticks you can have in a list. Because it's just annoying that you have to go, like, split it up like this. But I understand they're going to have some limitations on some things. I had some issues with TradingView also. What is going on? Am I messing everything up now? There we go. I had some issues with TradingView at the open. Sometimes it just froze. All the prices and everything just froze on most of the tickers. I couldn't do anything this week. So that happened a few days, actually, couple of days this week. So that was very annoying. I've experienced a little bit of freezing up on some tickers at TradingView, daily actually. But this one, we are talking like all the tickers were freezing up in the same second as it opened. You got the initial move and then everything just stopped. So I couldn't do anything. And if you struggle to like afford a premium subscription or something like that on TradingView, because it is expensive, but I've taken advantage. They just had like a Valentine's Day sale, and they had a Black Week or Black Friday sale, you know. I've just taken advantage of a couple of them, and now I have the premium. Next time I have to pay full prices in 2028, and before that I hope to take advantage of more offers, you know. So they do have some good offers that make it affordable for me at least. And I highly suggest that you should upgrade to a premium version, just because like these screening options and stuff like that, you can screen by indicators. I think it's pretty awesome and gives you a lot of options. Or I guess you could just buy TC2000 and get the scans exactly like Kulamagi has them. But Kulamagi says, though, you see that he uses TradingView sometimes, and he brags about the layout, like the view, how you can, you know, work around in the charts and all that stuff. So he liked the chart layout more in TradingView. All right, these are the 6-month gainers. See the same names. VSCO. Oh, this looks. I think this looks so good, but it needs a proper breakout. And right now, I was actually happy that it didn't go this day. Earnings are coming up, so it will probably be hard to get into it before that. And then maybe if earnings are good, you can jump in and do it like a EP. But I think this base looks good, I have to say. Been on my list for forever. What a strong move in CN also. I was on this, got stopped on this day here. Pump needs to decide which direction is going to go through. You know, it's like if you just draw you can just do like this. It's above there now, you know, but it's still, you know, hovering around. Needs to just give us a direction. FLNC just broke down, right? Looked good back here. You go back to here. You draw the lines like this. Looked pretty good. No volume here. And then it did have a good bar here. Failed earnings, you know. Here was the earnings report. SATS will be interesting to follow what it's going to do from here. the solar company. This was building a big base, broke down instead of up, and it's just in a free fall, it seems like. Which a lot of the solar names I saw they got hammered on Friday. Right, so that was the that was all the month games. Usually I just do like a 5-day as well, just to get my finger on pulse on what moved in the week. And that goes a little bit quicker because it doesn't give me the same amount of results. Usually it's a little bit quicker at least. A lot of bio names. Did well this week. Oh, by the way, I watched the Rip yesterday with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. I thought it was great. I thought it was a really good movie. Like, I've been screaming about some good quality movies lately, and I thought that delivered. Not watching so many movies anymore. Like a classic story though, but still. All right, one more and let's see. Then we're done. Then I have to go through the actual lists and create the daily watch list. So we're not fully done yet. And I have to also name the ones I haven't named, which is the very boring part. But I will be happy when it's finished. We should probably take years. All right, done with the screens. Let's see here, something interesting. A lot of times these are like low market cap names. Few of them at least, like this one. We saw them pop up in the other ones as well. Did I add this one? Previous. This is a strong move. I see. Nice. It's worth doing this because almost always I get like one extra name or something. Keys. Just add keys. I like this. Look at the volume down here. And earnings. Just beating earnings every time. The ants have showed up. Big move after earnings. All right, so that's kind of the screening process. Now it's just like sorting everything that all the results, you know. So that's what I have to do now. These are the ones, the new ones that we will have to just drag into the right place. And then if they don't have a name, I need to figure out which list I have them in. And then I need to find the stock. Sometimes it's a bit annoying because I have to search for them for a while. But you know, I know, for example, in my list number 2 here, I know biotech is, and a lot of these, as soon as they have some health thing, I know they're gonna probably be in this group. Then I just copy and paste the name, and I anchor it so it stays here on all the charts. And the groups I use is from Finviz. That's the groups I've used, the group names. So this is 100% based on Finviz. Commercial service, like where can that be? Yeah, there we go. Credit service. Sometimes so they label them wrong, so I'm fully aware of that, but at least it gives me something to use, right? This must be a miner. It was a gold mine. It's in health, medical specialties. Over here then. There we go. Medical devices. This one I had named, so you can just place it. Medical care facilities there. What's cool with this also, I can see which names, you know, which groups that gets big. Then I also know that that group is a bit hot right now. Not like commercial services. Those are pretty hard to find sometimes. Sometimes I find them like in all different groups. Now I'm just going through all of them because I have no idea where this can be. I don't remember which one I already looked in. There you go. Oil and gas. Equipment and services. This one is in the correct already. Other precious metal and mining. Utilities, electric. Should be here then. And it's not. There, renewable. Oh, no way, I already had it. Oh, of course, I saw that earlier. My bad. Package software. So, maybe here then. Ended up being in capital markets. Then I think the last one, keys. Electronic technology. So probably the same is right. Don't you think? No. There we go. Scientific and technical instruments. Then I think I've labeled all the new ones. You see, some of these groups are growing, right? So that's also indicated that something within those groups are hot, you know. So something you should watch. Now the rest of the process is to clear all the bad looking charts in my daily watch list, and then go through this one and add them back to the today one. So that's what I'm gonna do now. You can like adjust some of these lines, right? Try to make them fit a little bit. I think this is weird looking right now. It did go up, then nothing happened, so it's out of here. I need some more clarity. I don't know. We do like raise it to here and give it another chance. And do like this. NBIS had a rough Friday. Udo came back, dropped, came back the next day, and then just standing still almost. I want to still have it there. This one is out. NVA is still in that gigantic base. All right. So that's a good list now. Now I'm just gonna scroll through this and look for, like, these are then the strongest stocks, right? So I'm gonna look for two things. One is a good setup, which I'm then gonna move it to the daily watch list. And then the other thing I'm gonna look for is if things are breaking down for the chart, you know, like this one. I don't want it here anymore. It doesn't look as strong as it potentially was going to be. So those two things are the things I'm mainly screening for right now. Guess you can do like then, but there's no volume here, which scares me off a bit. The banks looks like it's been taking a little bit of a hit the last couple of days too. Yeah, all of them. I'm gonna get rid of all of them. And keep in mind, like, the environment we are in. Oh, what a drop. How much did this drop? 36%. And then it got all the way down to 47. That was before earnings. You are out of the list at least. Like, the environment we are in, you maybe you won't get so many, you know, good setups. This one looks good, but for me, this one is just too extended. It's just a rule. So I'm leaving it and try to visit it again when it has moved sideways for a little bit longer, you know. CNTX, maybe put it back. Think so. Macy. She's been doing nothing. Which is kind of what you like, but I don't know. Glue is now under the 50-day. I will keep it in the list a little bit more. MBX, this drop, it needs to, this coming week, needs to come up again, or else I will probably kick it out of that list as well. And it needs to show me strength again and come up in the scans before I add it back. Here, I guess you could do something like this. But the chart is a bit all over the place. Look at this. Might not hurt to just have it on the daily, just to see what it does. GPRE is like the, you know, the appear to alto. I don't know. ONDS is already on the list. Talking about the daily watch list. STX. I think I will take this off. This one is off. This one has earnings in 2 days, so I'm gonna leave it. There's no point putting it on if you're not gonna take it because of the earnings anyways. Some of the miners, like they look very similar, right? A lot of them. HYMC has been very solid for this long period, but I guess it's very extended on the weekly. But with everything going on in the world right now, I've maybe gold will be continue. Maybe we can do something like this, but not for me. Also gonna have earnings tomorrow. This one I think is I saw VNet. Yeah, VNet. Yeah, I'm taking this off as well. Rig looks interesting. This is also after earnings. You know, the oil stocks has done pretty good lately. So if you manage to do like something like this, maybe it's extended here. But if this week can move sideways, this will drop, you know, and then you can get a breakout after. Hopefully. I think I would draw it like this. I'm gonna add it. I don't know about this anymore. It's important, I think, to kick things out of the list as well, to keep them clean, keep them updated. So you get like the real, look at this candle, like the real view of the situation. Look at this candle, crazy one. Also earnings. This one is below the 200-day moving average. They have earnings tomorrow. Let's see where it goes, but it's going to be on this list for today. I think this one looks pretty good actually, but you know, going to be on my today. Here comes the solar stocks. Bit rough. There used to be more on this list, so solar is not in a good place right now, I think. Things can turn quickly though. This is kind of not too bad. This one also, obviously, you know, like flagging, but a bit extended for me. Although it was on the way to build a base, but just seems like the interest is just falling off. Earnings coming this week. We know how, like the last earnings, they over-delivered, it seems like, or obviously, but we know the history there in terms of the earnings reports and how the history they have for, you know, maybe promise something else, or yeah, promise something else than what's actually happening. It's making like a big cup and handle here, right? But also it's kind of like now setting up pretty good here as well. If you draw like a line, a general line like this, maybe something like this. And it did have earnings on Friday, seems like, so it's past that risk. Of course, it can drop on Monday, and then it will be not so attractive, but it can also drop down. Look, this is the anchored VWAP that I've started to use a little bit. You can see multiple places where it has found support on that in the past here. So that's also something I look for mostly for like pullback buys and stuff like that. So if it drops down here and you see on the shorter time frame starts to, you know, come back a little bit, it might be worth taking a shot for a pullback buy. So that's also something I look for in certain type of, you know, setups. But you will be back on the list, I think. See here, same thing, finding support, but then if you bought the pullback here and the next day, you know, it still sucks to be in this one. Needs to reverse, like the general down, the general trend is down. So something needs to happen, but you can get in a bit earlier on those pullback buys. Yeah, so that's that is the entire scanning process. It takes a little bit more time when I have to explain everything. So usually, yeah, I think I spend like around 40 minutes maybe on this whole thing every day. And it creates these lists that I post on the Discord. And right now, you see all of these follow the same type of setup. So these are the stocks that I have found now, at least, that are interesting at all. And to limit that down to a few tickers like I have done here, it helps the focus a little bit, because you don't need to screen when the market is open. You can just focus on some of these, and early in the day it usually gets very clear like which ones that are moving up or down. So, you know, early in the day you can probably focus just on 3, 4, 5 names within this list, and that's going to be just the only thing that you focus on. So yeah, now I'm just going to take a screenshot of this list and post it on Discord, and this is what I'm going to check on Monday, tomorrow. I have to say though, I don't have high hopes for any of these actually. I think with everything going on now, I think this coming week will be rough, and also in general, it has been rough a little bit lately, you know. So let's see what happens. But that's at least the process a little bit, you know, behind the scenes of what we are doing when we say that we are screening and stuff like that. And then I haven't started to use it efficiently yet, but I have also spent a lot of time lately coding. I'm using Gemini, like the Google AI thing, to help me code. And I'm coding. I've coded a couple of things. Like one is a system where I use my YSheet database to find. It helps me spot charts that are moving identical across sectors. You know, not only across sectors, but it also can include like across sectors. For example, if you look at the what was it again? Cat was it? If you look at Caterpillar, and then I can't remember the name now. I think I have it in. I think I have it in here. Terry's name, Ter. Look, it's like identical, and that's something I spotted using that system. Even on the days on the earnings, look, this one had like on this day here, 12th of May, it had a gap up. 12th of May, Tier also have a gap up. It's a similar gap. And then the next one, yeah, this was on the earnings, was 30th of July. That was this one for that. So that wasn't similar, but that was on earnings, right? The next one was maybe it was this one, 29th of October. Same, also on earnings, but still the same gap up, you know. And then just the general shape of the entire thing is almost identical. And like I've started to build like a system to spot these similarities in charts and group them together, also within the same sector, industry, and theme, but also you know, across multiple sectors. It can also include multiple sectors, and the entire point is to try to see like these themes developing. And this is, of course, it's connected to AI and artificial intelligence and parts and stuff to be able to drive that forward, because Caterpillar are producing like the engines and stuff for a lot of those things, I think it was. And then maybe, you know, I have created a system so that it gets a little bit looser in the last week, or how many days it was. I think the last 8 days it can go a bit separated in terms of how similar they look like, to see if Caterpillar starts to break out and Terra has not yet, you know, and then you have the history of this is moving identical, then maybe I can be quick enough to go into tier and buy it, and then hopefully it will continue to follow Caterpillar, you know. Probably it's going to happen so fast that I'm going to struggle with it, but that's why I said I haven't been able to find out how to use it efficient yet. But that's, I think it's really cool that I could never imagine doing something like that and make it work just a little bit ago, you know. But I've been coding a lot now, and I've created that system which runs locally on my computer. So that's some cool feature that I've been working on. And I've been also working on like a kind of like an assistant that is also AI. Like it's just like a thing, a window on my computer that I can chat with, that I can just press a button or just tell it to scan my chart. So if I and maybe if you saw in my charts, I've had to draw these green lines here, and that's for the AI, so it can understand where the beginning of the base is. So that's all this green line. That's all I have to put it on, so we can have something to work with in terms of dates. And then we'll calculate the date, you know, the days in the base, and then it will give me analysis, both macro environment wise and technical wise, and also like it will compare it to a few good examples from Kulamagi, his style and charts. It would compare it all and take everything into consideration and just give me a quick analysis of how it reads the chart in terms of everything that's going on. And then I hope I can use that analysis to just quickly either spot things that I didn't do on my own, or continue to build on that analysis and ask it questions to dig a bit deeper. And we're talking like about 2, 3, 4 minutes I will spend in total on this when the session is open. And then I get a little bit more understanding of what the catalysts are. And, you know, an example is like I call it link. So link tells me that, for example, that the last 3 days, a stock has finished or ended the day, let's say 35% up in the range, which is not a lot, you know. So that means that the sellers are the strongest one at the end of the day. So that's something that I don't spot it when I go through 100 charts quickly, you know. But that's pretty cool, and it can alert me of stuff like that. And another thing it does is also it groups it together with peers, like similar stocks that are in the same, not in the same group, but in the same theme. And it does that based on the business description, all that stuff. So, and it has been pretty accurate on it, actually. And then it also gives me a performance of that group versus the indices, like the QQQ or whatever. And then it can say like, oh, the last week it has outperformed the QQQ. So that's something it takes into consideration when it writes the analysis to me. So these are all things that I try to look at and look for, and just to help me to make some good decisions. And what I have left on that one, because I'm pretty happy with it now actually, but what I have left to do with that one is it gives me a score and it documents the score automatically. So I get a spreadsheet where it just writes down all the scores it has given. So my plan is to go through every end of the month and see like how accurate the score has been and how much I can trust it. And if it turns out like it's not trustworthy at all, I need to make some changes to it to make it work better, you know. I'm not trying to create something that will give me where to invest. That's not what I'm trying to do. So I'm not going to trust it for that, but I'm going to try. I'm trying to create something that I can lean on when I'm a bit insecure on what to do or what to pick, and just give me quickly all the information that I need to take a decision. And if I can trust it somewhat accurate, that the score at least is pretty spot on, that's something I can take into my own analysis of the situation and maybe, you know, lean a little bit more on than if I didn't have it. And everything goes pretty quick. So that's something I've coded as well that I'm pretty happy about, and I will try to find ways to use this into this style now. So yeah, I couldn't show it today because it runs locally on the computer, and I didn't figure out how to, because when I tried to record that screen, my OBS was freezing up, so I couldn't do it today. But yeah, anyways, that's it. I will take a screenshot of this list and post it on Discord. This will be my focus list on Monday, tomorrow, and then I I fear a little bit that we will get a rough week because of everything that's going on. At a minimum, I guess it will be choppy, but let's see. Maybe oil stocks, gold, those will outperform again. Who knows? It will be tricky, but there's so much going on right now. I'm going to slow down even further, I think, until I see that this list is long, yeah, but it's like a lot of these can drop, you know, on Monday, and it's relevant then. So let's see. All right, a bit boring maybe for some people, but this is how the scan process are for me. I do this every day. Sometimes I can't do it, but I try to do it every day at least. It helps me have the finger on the pulse, and it helps me like isolate the focus list down to a few names, and it helps me also be aware of which groups are hot, and maybe also which groups are used to be hot that now I started delete names in, you know, from here. You can see some are empty. it means that they used to be here, but now they are kicked out. So it just gives me a rough idea of what's moving and not. So that's why I think it's good to do it every day, and hopefully it can get some results in the end here. But yeah, so thanks thanks for everyone who's going to watch. If you have any questions about anything, put them in the Discord. I saw we have some new members there, so thanks for joining, and hopefully we can get the Discord going, with more people. But yeah, I think Dane will be back on next weekend. I hope so, and maybe we can do one together again. I decided I want to do one solo today because we didn't stream last week, and that was because of me. So we didn't stream last weekend also, so I just wanted to do one, and I had to do the screening and everything anyway, so I thought I should just do one stream about it. So yeah, all right, enough talking. Been doing 94 minutes, he said. What is wrong with me? Who sits here on Sunday doing this for 94 minutes? I don't. Something is wrong. Yeah, I'm going straight to the doctor, I think, to check my head. But yeah, hopefully I will be here next week, and then Dane can do a little bit more talking then. See you then. See ya. Bye bye.